Hello, Barca family. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel to stay updated on everything about Barcelona. In this video, we will discuss the details of a huge bombshell at Barcelona. But before that, we need to address other very important topics for our beloved club. Let's move on to the first one. Luis Diaz, the chosen one, the new star that Hansi Flick's Barcelona wants to dominate Europe again. In a moment of renewed optimism with Barcelona rising from its ashes after complex years on institutional and sporting levels, the club has started to outline the first major moves of a summer that can mark a new era. With the arrival of Hansi Flick as the new leader of the Blaugrana bench, FC Barcelona has signaled a name that excites, moves, and generates unanimity among the directors, technical staff, and a large part of the supporters. Luis Diaz, the Colombian winger from Liverpool, has been identified by Deco, Barcelona's sporting director, as the main target to strengthen an offensive area that, although showing signs of evolution with players like LAMINE, YAMAL and Rafinha, still needs more explosiveness, experience, and constant imbalance. The bet on the Colombian is not just sporting, it is symbolic. It represents a declaration of intent, a message to the football world. Barcelona wants to return to compete on equal terms with the giants of Europe and wants to do so with footballers capable of changing matches on their own. Luis Diaz is that pure dynamite, vertigo on the flank. He is that spark that makes the difference on big nights. His time at Liverpool has allowed him to develop a competitive maturity that few wingers in Europe can boast today. He has played and shown in the most demanding matches of the Premier League, has been decisive in the Champions League, has faced elite defenses, has felt the weight of the pressure at Anfield, and has always responded with football, courage, and spectacle. Diaz's profile perfectly matches Flick's idea for his new Barcelona. The German coach, an admirer of offensive play, pressure after loss, vertigo, and intensity, needs players capable of generating superiorities, breaking lines, and challenging any defense. And Diaz, with his electric dribble, devastating change of pace, and courage to face opponents, seems tailor-made for this style. However, the operation will not be easy. Diaz has a contract with Liverpool until 2027, and the English club does not intend to let him go cheaply. We are talking about an amount close to €80 million, a significant sum, especially considering the economic limitations that still affect the Blaugrana club. But in the offices of Camp Nou, they no longer act with desperation but with planning, vision, and cunning. The new Barcelona does not want to recruit just for the sake of recruiting, it wants to recruit intelligently. It wants proven talent, players who raise the level and contribute from the first minute. Luis Diaz is precisely that, a footballer who would arrive to be an undisputed starter, to make a difference, to make Barcelona more unpredictable, harder to read, more formidable in fast transitions. And moreover, he is a hungry footballer, with character, a competitive spirit. He is not coming to Barcelona to take a stroll. He is coming to win everything, to leave a mark, to become one of the great references of the project that Hansi Flick is building, brick by brick. The Colombian has already given hints in various interviews about his admiration for Barcelona's football, its history, its style of play. Although he has never spoken directly about signing for the club, his profile as an offensive, technical, and audacious player seems designed to shine at Camp Nou. This would not be just any recruitment. It would be the recruitment that can restore to Barcelona that verticality and imbalance that have been so missed at certain moments of the season. Furthermore, the arrival of Luis Diaz would not only be a success on the sporting level, but also on the symbolic level. It would mean looking the Premier League in the eye again and taking one of its jewels. It would mean showing the world that Barcelona is once again a desired destination for the best. That despite the economic difficulties, the sporting project and the greatness of the badge remain strong arguments to attract top-level footballers. Deco is working with patience, discretion, and intelligence. He knows there is no margin for error. Every euro must be invested wisely. That is why choosing Luis Diaz as a priority is not a coincidence. It is proof of the new direction the club is taking, a direction where quality, competitiveness, and coherence prevail. The Colombian, moreover, would arrive at the peak of his maturity, at the height of his career. He does not need adaptation time. He does not need a break-in period. He is ready to perform, to take on responsibilities, to be a leader. And that is precisely what this Barcelona needs, references that can guide the new generation, that can support the young talents emerging strongly, and that can pave the way to titles. The Barca supporters, who have started filling the stadiums again, who have suffered but have never stopped believing, deserve a team worthy of their passion. They deserve players who make them vibrate, who bring them joy, who make them proud. Luis Diaz can be one of those players, one of those recruitments remembered for years, one of those names shouted loudly in every match, printed on thousands of jerseys, etched in collective memory. Hansi Flick has a huge challenge ahead of him, but also a unique opportunity, that of leading the definitive reconstruction of Barcelona, of bringing it back to the place it should never have left. And for that, he needs footballers like Luis Diaz, players who bring not only quality but also character, leadership, experience, and ambition. The market is about to open, and Barcelona has already taken the first step. Now, everything will depend on the negotiations, the players' willingness, and the club's ability to maneuver within the financial limits imposed by the league. But if Barcelona has shown one thing lately, it is that when it believes in a goal, it fights until the end. And Luis Diaz is today that goal that can make the difference. So now, the question is for you, Barca fans at heart. Do you want to see Luis Diaz at Camp Nou? Does the idea of a Colombian winger overflowing defenses every match day, creating magic with Flick on the flank, excite you? Do you think this is the recruitment that can give us that leap in quality we have been waiting for so long? For a long time, yes, because this Barcelona is not satisfied. This Barcelona wants more. This Barcelona is back to compete, to win, to seduce again, and recruitments like that of Luis Diaz are the best example that the future is already underway. The second piece of news concerns an important decision within the club. Barcelona continues to show that when ambition is combined with planning, the result is a solid, coherent, and hopeful sporting project. After a full season with Hansi Flick at the helm of the team, a footballing identity has been consolidated, combining tactical discipline, intelligent pressing, ball control, and a decisive commitment to offensive play. The German coach has been clear from day one. He did not come to improvise or to occupy a temporary position, but to build a new cycle, one that returns Barcelona to its rightful place in Europe and the world. And part of this construction inevitably involves the incorporation of very specific profiles, carefully chosen to strengthen each line on the field. In this context, one of the names that has gained the most traction in recent weeks is that of Dutch international Tijjani Reijnders, currently with Milan. This is not just a rumor or a name thrown out by the press. It is Flick who, with a deep knowledge of European football and after months of analyzing performances and profiles, has asked Barcelona's sporting management to do everything possible to bring the Dutch midfielder to Camp Nou. The German does not make recommendations lightly. When he does, it is because he knows that this player will fit seamlessly into the model he is successfully implementing in the Blaugrana team. Reijnders, for Flick, is an ideal cog to give a leap in quality to Barcelona's midfield. His orderly football, his ability to link play from the back to the final third, and, above all, his competitive maturity have strongly caught the attention of the Kuhl coach. We are not talking about a player who needs adaptation or a talent to be developed. We have before us a fully formed midfielder, with experience in high-level competitions and tactical intelligence that aligns perfectly with the Blaugrana model. But most interestingly, Reijnders himself also wants to be part of this project. Sources close to the player's entourage assure that he has already had conversations with Milan's management, where he has clearly and directly expressed his desire to wear the Blaugrana jersey. This type of gesture is not common in modern football, where economic and contractual interests often weigh more than sporting ones. However, Reijnders has prioritized his footballing ambition and his admiration for Barcelona's style above all other factors. He wants to be an active player in this Kuhl renaissance and believes his football can decisively contribute to the team's growth. The player's contractual situation, combined with Milan's willingness to negotiate, opens a realistic scenario for a transfer. The Italian club is not opposed to discussing a possible departure, as long as favorable conditions are presented. And this is where Barcelona is already working cleverly. The possibility of including Andreas Christensen in the operation is viewed favorably by both parties. The Danish defender could strengthen Milan's defense, which would significantly reduce the economic outlay for Reijnders, facilitating an operation that, in other times, might have been inaccessible. Barcelona's sporting management has already established preliminary contacts with the player's entourage and with Milan's management. The conversations have been positive, without impositions or tensions, and it is expected that in the coming weeks, they will intensify to reach a definitive agreement. In the club's corridors, there is optimism. There is a generalized feeling that this recruitment is not only possible but strategic. Reijnders is not just any player. He is a specific piece designed to integrate into the mechanism that Flick has perfected throughout the season. Barcelona's performance under the German coach's direction has been remarkable. Despite the challenges and demands of a season packed with matches, the team has shown clear evolution in its style of play, tactical rigor, and cohesion as a unit. Flick has managed to make the team competitive again in Europe, dominate matches with the ball, and recover an identity that seemed blurred in recent years. The arrival of Reijnders would be a natural step in this path of growth, bringing balance, energy, and game reading in an area of the field where important matches are won. Moreover, the Dutch player's character aligns perfectly with the type of footballer Flick appreciates. Committed professionals, tactically intelligent, capable of understanding different registers of play, and adapting to the demands of the opponent. Reijnders has shown at Milan not only for his physical and technical deployment but also for his ability to take on responsibilities, lead without ostentation, and always offer solutions in complicated moments. Players like him are not a dime a dozen, and when one of them shows interest in coming to Barcelona, the opportunity cannot be missed. No less important is the message that this recruitment would send to the football world. Flick's signing for several more seasons, added to the possible arrival of players like Reijnders, would consolidate a solid workbase to continue competing at the highest level for many years. From this perspective, we can only show a very favorable assessment of the possible arrival of Tijjani Reijnders at Barcelona, not only for what he can bring on a footballing level but also for what he represents: institutional intelligence, negotiation capacity, and a technical project led by a visionary coach. These are the steps that differentiate clubs that successfully reinvent themselves from those that merely survive. The supporters, always attentive to every move of the club, now have the opportunity to have their say. What do you think, Kules, about the possible incorporation of Reijnders? Do you think his profile can be key in the evolution of the team under Flick's direction? Does the idea of seeing a player of his talent wear our jersey excite you? We know that in this club, the passion for good football is in the DNA. Reijnders represents that competitive elegance, that balance between strength and intelligence, commitment and creativity, that we value so much at Camp Nou. If his recruitment is finally concretized, we will not only be incorporating a great player but also adding a key piece to a project that has already begun to give clear signs of ambition, organization, and growth. Barcelona looks to the future with optimism and does so not from abstract desire but from action, from the patient and decisive construction of a team that wants to return among the best in the world. Reijnders can be a fundamental part of this plan, and we, as supporters, have the opportunity to accompany him, to support every decision that brings us closer to recovering the place we should never have lost. The third piece of news concerns a major recruitment for Barcelona and a blow to Madrid. In the offices of Barcelona, as the season advances towards its final phase and the club celebrates the fruits of a solid and hopeful campaign, they are already ambitiously designing the project that Hansi Flick will lead starting from the next pre-season. With sports planning that exudes coherence, a vision for the future, and a clear commitment to young talent, eyes are set on one of the most promising footballers in the national scene, Miguel Gutierrez. The left-back from Girona, who has shown throughout the last 2 seasons in the league, is very close to becoming the new player for Barcelona in an operation that can represent one of the most strategic moves of the summer. Miguel is not just a young promise. He is a consolidated reality in the Spanish Championship. His emergence with Girona has been impactful, becoming one of the most reliable, intelligent, and offensive fullbacks in the entire tournament. In an increasingly demanding football environment for fullbacks, where physical deployment, technique, and tactical clarity are required, the Madrilenian has managed to position himself as a luxury option. That is why Barcelona has decided not to miss the opportunity to incorporate him into their squad, has taken a step forward, and Hansi Flick has given the final green light. The club is moving firmly to finalize the recruitment. He is a footballer with a natural ability to interpret the rhythms of the game, who knows when to join the attack without leaving his defense exposed, who intelligently reads the opponent's transitions, and who, moreover, projects himself with elegance on the left flank. His crosses, his tempo to play out from the back, and his mental agility to combine in reduced spaces make him an ideal profile for the football that Flick intends to implement. And it is no coincidence that the new coach approved his arrival from the first technical report. What the German seeks is a team that dominates through possession, is deep from the flanks, and is secure in defense. Miguel offers that and much more, but this operation is not limited solely to the footballing aspect. His recruitment also responds to a structural idea of Barcelona, which has come back strongly in recent times: to build a sustainable team with local talent, young, with experience in La Liga, and without the need for long or costly adaptation processes. In this sense, the case of Miguel Gutierrez is exemplary. At just 22 years old, he has already played more than one season as a starter in a club that has been a protagonist in the upper part of the standings. He has played important matches, has grown in a demanding structure, and has shown personality in every challenge. Moreover, the price of the operation is perfectly aligned with the responsible financial policy that Barcelona seeks to consolidate. Reports indicate that Girona is willing to let him go for an amount close to 18 million euros. An affordable sum for the Blaugrana club and one that represents excellent value for money considering the footballer's projection. It is true that other European clubs have shown interest, especially from Italy, but everything indicates that Miguel has a clear preference. He wants to make the leap to Camp Nou and become an important piece in the new Blaugrana cycle. This type of recruitment, far from being media moves, are those that truly cement successful projects. This is where Barcelona knows how to read the market's evolution better than anyone. Instead of going for players with million-dollar contracts or unstable bets, the club identifies strategic opportunities, strengthens sensitive areas with high-profile players, and builds a competitive squad without mortgaging the future. Miguel is not a whim. He is a sporting necessity identified with rigor and embraced with conviction. From a tactical point of view, his incorporation opens many options for the coach. A fullback who not only defends well but also knows how to occupy interior zones, associate with midfielders, launch offensive diagonals, or combine in short near the area. Flick highly values this versatility, this ability to interpret the game from different heights on the field, and to adapt to various scenarios. In tight matches, Miguel can break lines with a run or a through pass. In more open encounters, he can be key in transitions. And in positional defense, his intelligence and tactical discipline offer guarantees. The recruitment also represents a clear message. Barcelona wants to continue strengthening its structure with committed players, hungry for glory, and with the necessary level to assume responsibilities. Miguel Gutierrez, who has demonstrated maturity at every step of his career, perfectly represents this generation of footballers who do not back down from big challenges, who understand collective play, and who naturally assume the role assigned to them. He is not coming to be a figurehead, he is coming to compete, to earn his place from the first training session. And that is precisely what Barcelona needs in this new phase. Players who raise the competitive level from within. That is why, from this perspective, with the passion that unites us as supporters of the best club in the world, we can only celebrate that Barcelona is close to confirming such an intelligent operation. Miguel Gutierrez not only has the level to triumph here, he has the character, ambition, and style. He has demonstrated it every weekend at Girona, he has demonstrated it when he had to take on offensive responsibilities, he has demonstrated it when he defended with tempo in difficult fields, and now he will demonstrate it with our jersey when he has to shine on the most demanding stage. Because this club does not settle. Because excellence is not an option, it is an obligation. And because the path to the top is built with decisions like this, firm, courageous, and with a sense of belonging. Now, as it could not be otherwise, we want to know what you think. Cule fans, what do you think about the possible recruitment of Miguel Gutierrez? Do you think, like many in the sporting management, that he can be one of the pillars of the new Barcelona? Does the arrival of a player who combines youth, league experience, refined technique, and competitive character excite you? From here, the answer is a resounding yes, because great teams are built from the back, because fullbacks are key in modern football, and because Miguel Gutierrez represents everything we want to see in a Barcelona player. Quality, courage, humility, vision, and desire to grow. If all goes as planned, we will soon see him wearing the colors that represent our dreams. And that day, without a doubt, will be another step towards the resurgence of the best club in the world. Leave us your opinion in the comments.